Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Gonna be a bit of a different video simply because I think it's always applicable, especially in the world that we currently live in. I have gone through not only many cryptocurrency cycles, but also many instances where I've tried to relay information to friends that I have to try to invest, to get into money markets, to learn things about how to make money and to keep money. And if you've been following me for a number of years, I think maybe convinced 5 people in 8 or so years to actually like save for the future and learn how to invest. And they've all done extremely well. It's not difficult. I think we're taught as kids that a lot of these things, these markets are only for the wealthy. They try to make it so that it's only for them, but they're meant to be for everyone. They're not that difficult to learn or to actually be a part of. So like I said, a bit of a different video. It's just more of we're going to run down a couple of things. One of my main mantras is please, for the love of goodness, just do your own research. It's not that difficult. I think a lot of times it seems daunting. And I think personally, I think a lot of times it seems for people, if I ask you to research something or to look up something or to find something, it feels almost like homework. And as we are not in high school or university anymore, I think for a lot of people, it kind of feels like I don't wanna, like that kind of thing. It literally will take you like minutes. Learn what they are, try to understand them, watch documentaries on them. And I say that because I've seen personally in my life a lot of people, you'll ask them to do something very simple, and they will pretend like they don't have the time for it. No one is busy 24/7. And if you are, I'm sorry that you are always busy. But for the other 99% out there, take time to actually learn these things. It's a very simple list. It's not anything that's going to be like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing? It's very simple. Learn what an asset is and a liability is. And I say that in the nicest way because it sounds simple. And if you know what an asset is and what a liability is, cool, you're golf clap, you're ahead of the class, fantastic. But for everyone else who doesn't, it's time for you to learn what that is, especially as you're getting older. And this is because I told you a story before a number of years ago. I had a friend who had a chunk of change. It wasn't a lot, maybe like 5, 6, 7 something thousand. And he didn't know what to do with it. And I was telling him to put some into stocks and dividend stocks and some into the cryptocurrency market because it was just extra money that he had laying around. And he ended up putting it into a CD, a certificate of deposit with his bank, because the guy at the bank told him it was the thing to do. And the issue is that the CD was giving him a return of, I think, 0.05%. Like this was years ago. And he thought he had done something cool and amazing. And he was going to make all this money. And I sent him a message and I was like, do you know what inflation is? He's like, I heard about it before. So you hear these common phrases and you think that everyone kind of understands them around you. People don't. Assets create money for you and or grow in value as you have them. You heard before, if you buy a car, it's a liability the moment you drive it off the lot because the value starts going down. You have to pay insurance for it. You have to pay gas for it. You might get into an accident, yada, 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 yada. You want to start learning what assets are and kind of even what fits you. Not all assets are for everyone. There are a lot of people I found out who don't want to own real estate. It's just not something that they want. A lot of people are far more comfortable with crypto than real estate. There are a lot of people who are far more comfortable with like owning farmland than they are with having actual tenants inside of a home. There's a lot of different ways to make money. It's about finding the one that like fits you. Find the asset that fits like what your vision of your future looks like and learn about them. Like learning is literally the greatest thing you could ever do for yourself. And I'm not sure how people make sure that they don't learn on a daily basis. It's absolutely insane. Learn what an asset is basically something that makes you money. It did that weird switch off thing. It's something that makes you money. Liabilities lose you money. Very, very simple. Learn what dividends are. Dividends, and I mean, I'm giving you the basis. Learn about them. All the information is out there for free on the internet. For free. You don't have to pay. You have to sit there and watch a documentary and just absorb what they're saying. It's super simple. You pay nothing. You just sit there. You get all the information. Cool? Got it. Dividends are basically, in essence, if you hold a fragment of a company, if you hold a stock, what have you, they will pay you for holding this. This is how a lot of very rich people make their money and how they've been making their money for a very long time. A lot of people sometimes get discouraged by owning a dividend stock because they think, oh, well, it'll take me a long time. And it's like, no, yeah, things take time. Everything takes time. It's not as instantaneous and quick as you would like it to be, because the problem is that you're sitting there sad because you didn't, 10, 15 years ago, I didn't have a chance to do it. And now, cool, start now. So that in the next 10 to 15 years, you actually have the money that you didn't get to have before. It's not about like feeling sad or sorry for yourself because you didn't get to do it when everyone else was doing it. Cool, start now. Because you're going to have another situation where in 10 to 15 years, you're going to be sitting there, you and your friend, oh, I wish I had money. Well, you could have done that 10, 15 years ago. Start now. And the idea of dividends is also very powerful because it's also relatively similar to staking within the cryptocurrency space. So you literally hold the stock. You get free money for holding it, literally just for having it. Like the company says thank you. Same exact way in crypto. You buy some crypto, the staking crypto, and you get free money just for staking it, for like putting it onto the network. It's very, very simple. It's a very clever way to make money, and this is how rich people continue to stay rich. You want to work less and have your money do more for you without actually having to do anything. Learn what assets are, what liabilities are, learn what dividends are, and learn what staking is, if staking actually interests you. Patience. Learn patience to hold long term. People who tend to have a lower net worth tend to have far less patience. That's not me being mean or rude. I'll even say this for I grew up in a world where if you had money, you spent it. I remember this was, when people had more paper money, walking down the street, and I would find a $10 bill or a 20. We had a saying that money's burning a hole in your pocket. Because the moment I had it, I'd be looking for something to buy. I need to buy something with this money. It's brand new money. Because in essence, I don't want it to fly out of my pocket and go into someone else's. So you look for things to be able to buy. Patience, especially when it comes to like trying to become rich, comes down to you literally holding and saving your money or investing it. It's not difficult, but it is, because we've been taught, especially in this world, in this economy, the way for us to feel happy is by getting rid of our money to throw into things. The problem is the people who made that narrative are the people who we keep seeing who made a record $114 billion in profit. And it's like, yeah, of course they did. Because they've been teaching us since we were kids to get rid of our money. Patience is what rich people have because they know that it works. And they've seen that it works generationally. So they will hear stories as to how their families created these empires. And it's mainly because, well, he got money, he put it into something, and he waited. It grew into more money. He put it into something else. It grew into more money. There is no buy, sell, which is one of the problems with the cryptocurrency space right now that a lot of people have, is they think they're day traders because they see these, it looks so cool to them. And it's like, no, the people who are day trading are bots. Like literally look it up. Rich people buy and they hold all assets because they know that later on it is going to be worth more. Why do you think all these people are buying up all this farmland? Because the land is scarce and is going to continue rising in value. Why do you think people buying up tons of real estate? It's because they know that when they were younger, rent was a lot cheaper and the property was worth less as well. It's gone up consistently and will continue to do so as more people need places to live. There are a lot of places, depending on where you are in the world, a lot of buildings can't be built on top of other buildings. So what's there is there. That's all you got. Same exact thing with Bitcoin. It's extremely scarce. You buy and you hold. It sounds like something magical when you hear people say, oh, diamond hands. And it's like, no, the concept is very simple. Learn what these assets are, one that fits you. You buy and you hold. That's it. Until it goes up higher. And if you are able then to convert that into something else that is going to make you more money, then you do it. You keep that money with you. You keep it together. And then you pass it on to the next person, your child, what have you. It's not very difficult. This is one of my favorite ones. Learn what risk management is and what yours is. Because I come from a place where I like risky assets and I don't know why. They kind of suit me. I also invest in real estate. That is the less riskier, if you will. But that's me. I've told a number of friends over the years to get into crypto, to get into so-and-so, to look at XRP, to look at Ethereum. And it terrifies them because of the volatility. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like Bitcoin Cash Satoshi's vision, you need to figure out where you are on the scale of what you want to invest in and then invest in that. Don't let people bully you into stuff. You should always be aiming, of course, to outpace inflation, but don't let anyone tell you that you need to be in an asset that's going to 4, 5, 6, 7, 18x in a year while you have heart palpitations. Find something that, as long as it's outpacing inflation year on year, that you're comfortable with it, that you know that you're okay holding this asset and holding it for the next 60 something plus years because it's right for you. Learn what your risk management is, because a lot of people have very different levels. I have a lot of friends who only own real estate and own stocks because it's what they can handle. Still great, still making them money, but it's also far less risky. And this is where the stability actually ends up coming in. Learn to put away money. Learn to put away money to save. Learn to put away money to invest. I know it's not easy. I know it's quite difficult, especially if you are used to buying shiny, new, awesome, new things and stuff all the time. This was part of my issue a little bit when I was growing up, but I shifted very quick because I realized that we were broke. My family didn't have a lot of money, and I didn't want to live that way. And I had a friend, I told you years ago, this was 2008, 2009, is 1.5 years ago, who told me what investing was. He got me into markets. He got me into stuff. I saw that I was making money, and I never looked back. The issue is that you have to learn to forego the things that are going to make you happy right now, instantaneously, for what's going to make you happy down the line. We've gone over that years and years and years and years and years. In the last 10 years, I barely buy anything for myself. And I know I put the comments. I don't care about things. I care about assets that are going to make me and my family richer, that are going to get passed down on to my kids. Because I do not personally want there to be a generation after me that has to go through the same things that I went through. That's, just clear as day. That's literally exactly what it is. So I had to teach myself to buy exactly what I need. I've gone over that before. We don't have to dig too deep into it. What I own is what I own. As far as like clothing, I don't buy new clothes all the time. I still have my coat from 14 years ago that I got from a flea market for 50 cents. That is my winter coat that I wear all the time. My spring coat, also gotten from a thrift shop, I think for like $150 or something like that. There's no need for me to try and impress other people because I'm impressing myself by seeing that I have more money all the time. There's no need to buy. I used to buy seasonally. I used to be, when I was younger, me and all my friends would go to the store and we buy as many clothes as possible. You have to learn how to stop that. You have to learn how to stop. You have to learn how to stop. You have to learn how to stop. I had to say it multiple times because somebody heard me the fourth time and not the first time. You have to learn how to stop. You have to figure out what you need and stop trying to impress other people. You're impressing other people who don't even like you and you don't like them. That's usually what it ends up coming down to. You know what's far more impressive? If in 5 or 6 years you have a summer house somewhere in Italy or somewhere, in some warm region of the world, and all people keep seeing is your Instagram photos and they're like, how did he do that? While you're still wearing the same clothes and the same shoes that you wore 5, 6, 7 years before. Save your money. Invest it. Teach yourself how to do it. It's not going to happen overnight. Mine didn't happen overnight. You got to figure out how to do it slow, but you got to get there. Because you know how many documentaries I see about people who cannot and will never retire? Will never retire. Never. Never, 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 never. And some of them, I sit there and the word's not sad, but I'm like, ugh, geez Louise. There was one or multiple of them, actually. This woman, she was 71, 72, and she sat there and they were asking her, can she retire? She was like, no. I think her pension was like $700 or $800 per month. And she was like, I can't pay rent. I can't pay anything. I'm on all these benefits and assistance. She's like, I need so much help. And the person who was running the documentary, he asked her, he said, what was your earlier, like, what were your earlier years like? And she said, well, I was hanging out, I was partying. I was the life of the party. I was always the one there. And she did this and she did that and she did so and so. She was always traveling. She made sure she traveled first class. This is before social media. She was making sure that she could brag to people that she had it, that she was doing this, that she was so and so. She didn't think about that. Buying assets was the last thing in her mind. She didn't even put extra money away. You know the percentage of people right now who are dipping into their 401ks and to their retirement plans so that they can live comfortably now, and I mean extra comfortably, is off the charts. See if you can find the documentary on that. People who are dipping early into their retirement funds. And I mean, they have another 30 years left before they're able to actually retire at 65. And by the time they're in their 60s, the number will be around 78. Don't tell anyone I told you that, but that's going to be what actually ends up happening. And it's all because of lack of self-control. Because that you know that you're getting older, that you're going to get older if you're lucky. Always the saying, if you're lucky to still be here, cool. You do not want to be 60 and 70 and have no money to your name. Do you want to, in the year 2055, 2060, do you want your pension to be $940 when your rent is around $6,000-$7,000 and you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do? And you have to sleep on someone's couch or worse. Think ahead. It's so simple. Just think ahead. Take it day by day. You will see after you must have seen these things with people on TikTok and Instagram where they literally are telling people like, just put away $5 to $10 a day. At the end of the year, like look at it and go, oh my gosh, of course that's how much you saved. If you can save more, save more. Put into a high interest yield account if that's also that's something that's really good for you. How much money you could make if you just stop trying to, you understand what I'm saying. If you are going to deep dive, this is very important. If you're going to deep dive into crypto or deep dive into stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, learn about the companies. I've had a lot of instances, and I mean that on both sides, whether you're in crypto, whether you're in stocks, all the information is online for free. You can go online and learn about these coins, learn about these companies before you put your money into them. Me seeing people enter these markets, especially the cryptocurrency market, and not learning jack diddly squat about these companies, these corporations, these coins is a bit maddening. You would never do that in any other instance in your life. Why do it with investing? If you see that there are companies who you like, want to put your money into them, learn about them. You can even find lists online if you Google it. If you want to get into stocks, type in top 50 blue chip stocks. So you can find like stable, like Johnson & Johnson, Coca-Cola, like very stable companies who will probably be around for the next 200 plus years. If you want to get into crypto, learn what Bitcoin is. Learn what Ethereum is. What is a blockchain? Why is it so popular? Why is BlackRock so interested in this asset class? Why are people talking about Bitcoins going to $1 million? It's cool. You put your money into it. You might make some money back. You haven't learned anything. Learn what all this is. Why it's functioning this way. Why people are talking about these numbers, these associations. Because what ends up happening is a lot of people end up getting into this market, all markets, but into the crypto market, and they don't know anything. And they throw their money at anything that someone tells them to in a tweet or on some TikTok video, and then they end up losing their money because they don't understand what they did. Then they get discouraged for being in the market. Same exact thing for the stock market. I remember years ago, this was even before or even around the 2008-2009 crisis, people were just throwing their money into the stock market. Yeah, the stock market's going to be fine. Lose their money. What'd you put your money in? I saw the companies that some people were putting their money into. Nonsense. Literal nonsense. If I told you that before, and I'll tell you it again. If you ever hear me say something that doesn't sit right with you, or you don't understand what I'm saying, don't glaze over it. Research it for yourself. If I tell you at some point that something is going to perform a certain way or has done so before, or this is going to happen, don't sit there and take it at literal face value. Go research it. Go look it up. Learn for yourself so that you also can go, oh, I understand exactly what he's talking about now, so that you're smarter the next time that we sit here and talk, and you are well more educated than other people who are also, you understand what I'm trying to say. I'm just throwing a bunch of stuff out there. The one that's really helped me out, last part, is to write down your goals. You don't necessarily need a diary or a journal. It's just more of I personally give myself 5 to 10 year, goals, and I write them down. And I have a list that's actually right next to me, and it says what all my goals and my things that I want to do are. And I make sure that I save, that I invest, that I put that money away, so that at the end, or even before the 5-year period, I can get to what I want. And the goals, of course, will vary for a lot for different people. It could be that you want to be able to put aside $15,000, $20,000 plus for a mortgage. You might want a piece of land. You might want to own parking spaces. A lot of people forget that you can buy parking spaces and they make some really good money. Vending machines. Everyone has a different goal. But understand what that goal is and write it down. You can have a vision board if you want. Mine is literally just a piece of paper that I look at all the time. And it tells me what I need, how much money I have to make those goals actually end up happening. I told you at the beginning of this video, it was not going to be difficult. The problem is a lot of people, I think people want to pretend that these things are difficult. And this is what I think a lot of the get rich quick now mentality kinds of comes in. Because you assume that what you have to do is like decades of research that you simply don't have time for. Researching everything that I just told you will take a good hour and a half. A good hour and a half, if not less. Even more so, it doesn't have to be like all in one go. Just learn 10, 15, 20 minutes a day about these things and you will be well informed. You will understand how to put money away, how to save it, how to grow it, how to have it for the next generation. So that somewhere down the line, 4 or 5 generations, everyone's like, it's crazy how much money he made in a short amount of time. Look at where we live now. You know what drives me crazy? This is me personally. When I see these families who are like wealthy and it took like 1 or 2 generations for them to get there, and to think that these people now don't ever have to work. Think of that, because that's this generation. Imagine 3 generations down the line. You create a scenario where you and your family don't have to work ever again. You can start right now. It's really not difficult. I know it sounds crazy, but it's really not. You have to learn. You have to get into these markets, and you're going to stumble. You're going to trip. You're going to fall. It happens all the time. No one becomes an athlete overnight. You are going to have a problem. You are going to have issues. Read about it. Figure it out. Get it together. And then in 5 years from now, look, and even more so, 5 years from now, look at where you are, and then remember this moment and be like, look how far I came. And then do it for the next 5 years and the next 5 years and the next 5 years and the next 5 years. Until you own tons of property, till you own tons of land, till you own tons of crypto. Whatever your goal is, write it down. If your goal is to own an entire Bitcoin, write it down. Take the time and do it. Yeah, like I told you, different video, but I think it needed to be said because we are going to start having a lot of new people getting into markets over the next couple of years. And I need everyone to like really be present and to really understand what you're getting into, understand what your goals are, long-term as well. Have long-term goals. As fantastic and cool and awesome as life might be right now. Have you ever heard the term like rainy day fund? Yeah, as a kid, I thought it was like, oh no, it's raining. It means like, no, when stuff turns to crap, like, you'll need that money set aside. So to avoid those days in the future, get it together now. I do sincerely hope that you have all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.